was able to get shots with the Bobcat and the Welcome to Dreamland playground sign on it. So that's pretty cool.
Hey everybody, my name is Ben Neff, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about my encounter with a bobcat that I nicknamed Comet. You can probably guess why, just based on the first photo I shared at the beginning of the video. For those of you that watched last week's video, I apologize. I know I said this week was going to be about a trip I did to North Dakota to photograph sharp-tailed grouse. That'll now be next week's video, or maybe the weekend after. I may skip a week because of Valentine's Day, I'm not sure yet. But I will include a sneak peek to that video at the end of this video, so you still won't completely miss out on that trip. And if you do want to see that video next week or the following week, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Before we jump into the video today, I want to reiterate a few things from my social media description and also that the DNR wants me to emphasize. First off, I'll acknowledge I know the DNR does not like to give nicknames or names to wild animals. They don't want people to humanize them or become too attached or think of them as pets. So just to reiterate, I know I gave him a nickname, Comet, but Comet is a wild animal. He's a bobcat. He's not anyone's pet. He doesn't belong to me. He doesn't belong to anyone else. And the reason I gave him the nickname was because it went with the sign and the photos and the location I photographed him at. And also, I just thought it would kind of help the community kind of rally around him and want what's best for him and what's best for the community so we can all kind of get along and live together. That being said, he's probably really not going to stay around the area too much longer. It's mating season for bobcats. He's covering a lot of miles looking for a female right now. And at some point, he's probably going to realize there isn't one here, at least as far as I know. And he's going to move on, and he's probably not going to be in the area anymore. The other thing that the DNR really wants to emphasize is please do not try to feed him. And if you have pet food that you leave out, cat food, dog food, I know a lot of people leave out cat food overnight. Please don't leave it out right now. You really shouldn't leave it out anytime. It's just going to attract raccoons, possums, skunks, and other wildlife. But especially right now, while he's moving around, please don't leave it out. If he does get used to having a food source like cat food left out overnight, he's going to keep looping back to that. And if at some point he shows back up on one of his loops and there's a cat there eating, he's probably going to want to defend that food. Most likely that would just mean he chases the cat away, but we don't want him to attack or hurt anyone's pets either. Also, I totally understand if you want to see him or photograph him yourself. I 100% get that. If you want to go out and look for him, by all means, go ahead. Just keep a safe distance. I never got closer than 50 feet, and that was when I set up and let him come to me. Also, during that time, there was a fence between us, and he was peeking around the corner of the elementary school. So at any point, if he felt threatened or in danger, he could have just turned around and left, and I would have had no way of getting closer to him. You never want to make a wild animal feel cornered. That's when they get angry. Every time I post photos or videos of badgers, everyone talks about how angry and pissed off they are. And then when you ask them to explain, they tell you some story about how they were out walking their dog off a leash or something, and then the dog is standing 5 feet away from a badger, and then the badger's snarling at him. That's not really the animal being aggressive, it's just scared and trying to defend itself. So you never want to try to corner an animal or feel like it's in a situation where it has to fight. Wild animals, their first instinct is always going to be to run away, because if they get injured, that's it, they're done. So they never want to attack you or your pets, they want to get away. I never tried to move closer to Comet while he had a line of sight with me. The only time I ever moved closer to his location was when we didn't have a line of sight, and I went to a place I hoped he would show up or maybe walk towards. And I know it doesn't always look like it, but for most of the photos and videos, I'm well over 100 feet away. My camera equipment gives me about the equivalent of 20x binoculars, plus I'm cropping or using crop video modes a lot, so I'm a lot further away than it looks like. Hopefully you can kind of see just how far away I am based on the action camera footage of behind the scenes. He's definitely a curious cat, but he also definitely doesn't want anything to do with people. While he was in Dreamland, there was one point where he wanted to go back into town to do a loop around the bird feeders, but there were people shoveling or getting into cars, and he immediately froze, crouched down, and then went back into dreamland to get away from them. I felt kind of bad. I wanted to like wave at the people across the street and yell out to them, be like, hey, look at this. This is really cool. But obviously that would have scared Comet, so I didn't do that. So hopefully if you live in that area, you've seen my photos or this video, and you can kind of get to experience what it was like to have him right there. Anyway, that's probably enough of me talking, so enjoy this video.
Okay, see the Bobcat. It's literally just doing laps. It's just going through the school's parking lot right now. I gotta text my wife quick. Okay, the reason I did not chase it is because I don't want to scare it, but it's very clearly just doing laps. So if I go down here, I'd almost guarantee you it's going to walk right up to me. Fudge. It's already over here. One more. It's like the worst. It's like the worst background I could have. Okay. Oh, I just had to back up. I don't want to scare it. But also there's just not going to be a great photo there either, so I'm just going to wait. See if it comes out here again. Hopefully the phrase, curiosity killed the cat, is accurate. Not that it's going to kill it, but hopefully it saw me and wants to come check me out. Even if it does, I'm going to have the freaking elementary playground in the background. And the fence in the foreground. This is not going to be a good photo. Oh well. I'm going to wait a minute. If it still doesn't come over, I'll go back around and check. And then go around the other side of the school. Hopefully I'm like legally allowed to be here. It's a Sunday, so there's no kids here. Still probably creepy to have a big, tall, bearded man in camo outside the school with a camera, though. God, literally. If that was not in the background. do something maybe kind of dumb. Okay, that worked. And now we wait, and we really hope it comes back around the corner, and it's not going back around the school. Once again, hopefully, curiosity kills the cat and it peeks around. There's a blue bench behind it, though, which is annoying. Okay, I don't know what to do now. I've been here for 30 minutes, right? 26 minutes I've been recording, so I'm gonna try to wait for him to make a move and leave or do something, but oh my god. I think he's going back the other way. My coat caught on the fence and I made a noise. I did not want to do that. Well, I don't feel too bad because this cat is spending the last few days in town, moving around town. It's going through people's backyards and it clearly didn't really care that I was here. But I always don't want to scare them at all. I don't know that I did. I think he's just walking back the other way. Decided to go back, but still. taking pictures of a bobcat on the playground that I grew up playing on in elementary school. I'm now 30, first bobcat I've ever seen in my life. And honestly, I think I'd prefer if it was in the woods, but this is a really awesome second. I was able to get shots with the bobcat and the Welcome to Dreamland playground sign on it. So that's pretty cool. So I'm just gonna address this because I know there's gonna be people worried. The reason the bobcat is at the school right now is because it's a Sunday and it's the quietest, least busy place in town. There's absolutely no one out around the school besides me. While I was watching it at the playground, it was walking to go back down a side street into town. Someone was out shoveling. It stopped, watched him for a minute, turned around, and went back into the playground. Because I know there's going to be people talking about how they're worried about the kids or anything. With all the buses and people running around, kids running around screaming and everything, that bobcat's going to be nowhere near here during a school day.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe here on YouTube, and you can also follow me on Facebook at Ben Neff Photography or on Instagram at the Mr. Neffels. If you didn't watch last week's video, feel free to hop back and watch that. I was talking about cover crops and their benefits for wildlife, and I also got some photos and videos up close of a short-eared owl, which was really awesome. That was the closest I'd ever been to a short-eared owl, besides the one that flew right over my head last year. And like I said, in a week or two, I'll have the video out about my trip up to photograph sharp-tailed grouse in North Dakota. But here is a sneak peek of that video. Enjoy.